We're celebrating 25 years of joy. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to the marketplace. My name is Aboagye-Wiafe. Coming up today, African Union defers implementation of Continental Free Trade Agreement, which was earlier scheduled to commence on July 1 this year. We'll be talking to the Institute of International Chamber of Commerce. Also coming up, London-based Economist Intelligence Unit reveals Ghana would not be part of the ECO's introduction at the initial stages. Plus, some local face mask producers take advantage of high approval fees for production of some local PPEs. We'll tell you more about all these stories, and of course, in the next 25 minutes, it will be business on the marketplace. Don't go away. Thank you very much for staying with me on the marketplace. Welcome back. Now, although some local face mask producers are lamenting the 850 cedi approval fee for production, others are taking advantage of the opportunity and meeting demand schedules. One of such producers is David Osu-Late, CEO of Otech Biotech Limited. Wondering what is unique about his face mask, Joy Business's Odilia and Tiama visited his facility and brings us more.
So for several days, government has been encouraging all of us to wear nose mask, though very uncomfortable. Well, mine just went off. I must say that the FDA is interested in us getting the masks that actually work to really prevent COVID from getting to you. Well, I got this for 5 cedis, and it's virtually like just cloth. But the FDA has come with some specifications, and so far I gather that about 10 companies have been certified. I am here at the workstation of Otech Biotech, and we're coming to be delving into the issues with the CEO of the company. He is David Osu-Late, and he will be giving us more details as to what it really means to be certified by the FDA. Does it really matter or not? How expensive is it? And can everybody afford it? So, David, you're hiding behind the cameraman. Come on out. Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Social distancing, especially when my mine is off.
Of course.
I want to find out from you exactly what did the FDA say you had done right?
Well, we sent samples to the FDA, and we didn't actually get it right the first time. We sent different samples, and they advised us as to the kinds of filters they actually need. The kinds of filters lab has actually approved to be used. So we had to then go back and make some changes and bring it back again. So it took some time. It would have been short, but because of the changes we had to make, it took some time. But then we got approval, and then we started sales. Okay, we started sales.
Okay, now the one that I'm wearing, I want you to examine it.
Okay.
So that if it's not the right one, you'll give me one of yours for the meantime. Okay, so this is mine. Once you touch it, it means I can't use it anymore.
Absolutely.
So do the examination. What will make mine not the FDA certified one? You can cut it if you want.
When you take a look at this one, actually, try to take measure.
You want some scissors?
No, please. There's a scissors right here.
Okay.
All right. For the FDA approved nose mask, when sewing, the length should be about 10 inches. Okay, the length should be about 10 inches, and then the width should be about 6 inches when sewing. Okay, the width should be about 6 inches when sewing. And there should be filters in there. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. You'll probably be angry with me.
I know you'll give me a second one.
So we cut this one. And you said you got this for 5 cedis?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So when I open this, there's absolutely no filter.
Okay.
It's absolutely none. Okay. Let me just. There's absolutely no filter in there.
Okay.
So it doesn't give you the amount of protection you need against the virus. Okay, it doesn't give you the amount of protection you need. So the inner layer is absolutely like the outer layer.
That's right.
So this doesn't give you the amount of protection you actually need. But then when we take a look at one of the masks we are making here.
All right.
Okay. This is the K3. Okay, this is the K3. When I cut the K3, inside the K3 are filters. Okay, you have 2 layers of them in there. This is stiff material. Okay.
Is it a particular stiff material or just any stiff material?
This is medium size stiff material. We have types. Medium size is preferable because it's breathable. Okay, we are trying to protect people against the virus, but we also want
people to easily breathe.
Yeah. Exactly, you get it. So there's 2 layer stiff material. Okay.
So when you're doing the packaging and sending it out, you have a place where you have put FDA certified so that people can tell that yours is actually coming from the FDA?
Absolutely. The packaging process after it's been sold, okay, we actually sterilize them before. So after we've sold them, okay, we have to sterilize them. Each one goes through 2-stage sterilization. Okay, so when I open this, there we have some samples in there, and I go in sterilization. Over here, we have about 8 samples being sterilized. So after they
specifically, what are you doing? Trying to sterilize them?
We are trying to
handle them while sewing.
Exactly.
And you want to make sure that it's absolutely
safe. Exactly, because you don't know the kinds of pathogens, bacteria, or viruses that have been transmitted during sewing, or even during when we're acquiring the materials. You never know. So
and
we try to.
Even touched mine, and you've gone back to the sterilization.
Exactly, you get it. So we have to sterilize them thoroughly, and then after the first stage sterilization, they go to second stage sterilization. So each mask is sterilized twice before we distribute it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the question is still not answered.
Okay.
The packaging, do you put FDA certified somewhere?
We have, when it's completed, this is how it's packaged, please.
Definitely, packaging will come with a cost as well.
Absolutely.
And you have FDA stamped somewhere.
We don't have it on this one because we actually received our FDA number right after it was posted.
Okay.
So you can see the progress. We were here without the made in Ghana, okay? And then from here, we moved here to the made in Ghana. Okay. So there will be a third one tomorrow, God willing, which will have the FDA number, okay, and the made in Ghana, and that will be our final one.
Work.
Exactly. And we have been on this for about 5 weeks.
You've been on this for 5 weeks.
Absolutely.
How much does one cost at the FDA certified with the FDA number on it? How much is it going to cost?
This is the K3 mask. This is the K3 mask. And the K3 mask, one costs about 12 Ghana cedis on the market. And if people would like to make a bulk purchase, it's reduced. The reason being, we want everyone to be able to afford it. We want everyone to be able to afford it. That is why it's costing that cheap. Exactly. That cheap, yeah. However, the one I'm wearing, this is the K1. This was designed just recently, about 3 days ago. This is the K1, and we will have it on the market latest by next week. We'll have the K1 on the market.
Okay. Why do you call them K1 and K3? That's my next question.
Okay. We are trying to one. It helps us. Okay, when people call us, we don't want them saying, we want the one that looks like Ninja. We don't want them saying that. We want them to say they want K1 and we know what they mean. When they say K3, we know what they mean. K1, for instance. K1 was designed, as I mentioned earlier, about 3 days ago. So we are yet to settle on the price. Yeah, price this one. Should be available latest by next week. When you take K2, K2 actually costs 12 cedis.
The pleated ones.
The pleated ones cost 12 cedis. It's the same pricing as the K3. It's the same pricing as the K3.
So the Ninja one you're wearing, the cost is going to be a bit different.
The cost is going to be a bit different
because of the kind of material you have used and how. Can you take it off and
all right.
Stretch it and let's see how different that is going to be.
So let me stretch this one first and show you something. This very one stretches okay. We faced some problems with people. We've had complaints where people purchase masks and then they want to try everything you are holding. Okay, if you have 20, they want to try it all and know that it actually fits them. Okay, but with the FDA specifications, it limits that kind of attitudes and all that.
You cannot try it.
Exactly, you cannot try it. But the K1 is different in the sense that it actually stretches. It actually stretches. You get it. It actually stretches. This can fit almost anybody. So it makes us fix the age gap problem. Because when clients call, they have to specify who the mask is going to. Okay, let me wear this, please.
Yeah, and of course, I'm not wearing one right now because you've cut mine, and the one you're supposed to give me is under sterilization, so that everybody gets it out there, that I'm being compliant. Yes, so my next issue is, once it is cloth, and it can get dirty, and this one you don't discard immediately. Tell us, can I wash it? Can I reuse it?
When it comes to any of the masks we have,
maybe we can walk and see the rest of your
products.
Yeah.
When it comes to the reusability, with this one, it's because of the stiff material in there, it allows for it to be reused. Okay. All you do is you can wash it with our detergent, home detergent. You can wash it with it, and it should very much kill or inactivate the pathogens.
How many have you produced so far?
So far, counting the numbers, I would say over 1,000. Over 1,000, and we have running projects, current projects. We have over 10,000 under production right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you been contacted by anybody to produce for them in large volumes, especially from the health sector, from companies, or where?
We've received calls. We've received calls from people for residential use, companies. Okay, but then with the calls that come, we decided to go bulk purchases. So to enable distribution of the to reach some people, because if we want to sell them singular, we wouldn't be able to reach everybody. Okay, not to talk about the cases in Kumasi and other regions, and we are situated here in Accra. We receive calls from other regions, and not all the time that we are able to meet their requests. So we decided to triple supply every 2 days, so we can meet the demand. We even receive calls from outside, the Western people. They like what they see, they like the designs, they like the style, they like the fact that it's FDA approved and it has filters in it. They like it. Yeah.
So I think that will be it. Thank you very much. I think now we can shake properly. Yeah, that's the COVID elbow shake.
Yes.
Yeah.
The ingenuity of a local mask producer. Let's turn our attention to our top story now. The African Union has announced it has deferred implementation of the Continental Free Trade Agreement, which was earlier scheduled to commence on July 1. The indefinite postponement is due to the coronavirus pandemic. According to the Union, African governments are currently not in a good position to fully implement the pact. The 55-nation Continental Free Trade Zone has the potential of creating a $3.4 trillion economic bloc, with 1.3 billion people across Africa and constitutes the largest new trading bloc since the World Trade Organization was formed in 1994. I've been joined by the Secretary General of the International Chamber of Commerce, of course, ICC, Emmanuel Doni Kwame, for his thoughts on the latest development. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the marketplace.
Good afternoon.
Now, is this news coming to you as a shock in the first place?
Not really. We all know of the situation at hand, the public health crisis, and that's paramount, and it takes precedence over trade. So we all expected some delays in most projects, programs, especially meetings that involves people. Once you don't have the free movement of people across borders, definitely, it's definitely going to impact trade. So
I'm actually asking you this because a few people or a few think tanks I've spoken with are indicating that we should rather use this situation, the current health situation, as a catalyst to promote the CFTA.
The CFTA is already in motion. I have a position on that since we already have the regional blocks, and they've been doing the work from time immemorial. And AFCFTA has more or less fast-tracked the work of ECOWAS and the other various regional blocks. So the pandemic just brought things to the fore, and already, yes, we've set a deadline, but things are still being done. That doesn't mean the momentum will slow down. Just that meeting the deadline of 1st July will be a bit more difficult because the focus of most governments now is to save lives. And then the next step may be to save livelihoods. Yeah.
So what were the expectations as part of this agreement, and for which you think some African governments would be disappointed in this particular latest development?
I don't think anybody will be disappointed because the negotiations have to do with the rules of origin and then to come out with a new tariff regime. But now we can shift the focus and then kickstart it by just trying removing tariffs on essential goods, notably food and medical supplies. So and also to try and develop our own local industries within these sectors. So more or less, it's still in line, and then more can be done. But the focus globally now, it's to use this opportunity to try and develop the various industries within these two sectors. Then secondly, we could also look at digital trade, because once people cannot move, then there's the need for us to look at how entrepreneurs can come out with solutions for us to go around some of the challenges we are facing now.
Yes, talking about solutions, between now and when it finally commences, what should be the new posturing of the Secretariat right here in Accra just to offset any unforeseen contingencies such as these?
What happened, as far as I know, is that the Secretariat is still in Addis Ababa. They tried convening meetings using having web conferences, and they've had challenges because of language barriers, and then the challenges with internet on the continent, as we all know. So from now to 1st July or till when the pandemic, we may find some solutions around the pandemic for workshops and conferences to happen. We could address these bits, and then as we address in the medical bit, people are coming out with solutions, coming out with products like ventilators, test kits, and others. Those within the IT industry can also be looking at how to resolve these things for us to catch up with our colleagues.
All right.
So that, because the virus is here to stay, I don't think it will be leaving very soon, but we may find very easy solutions to.
In your own words, if it prolongs, is it not also protracting the danger in this particular agreement that Africa stands to gain out of?
It's slowing down things because it's affecting the free movement of people, and you can't have trade without people moving around. And all but the position of ICC together with the Secretariat, from what I gather from the information from the Secretary General, is that we should allow trade to flow, despite the situation we find ourselves in. The regulations are intense, yes. Behind the scenes, still trade ministers will be meeting. In May, heads of states will also meet to set new dates. And then in the interim, they have to remove, we are even calling for removal of all tariffs on foods and essential medical supplies. We need to remove all these tariffs and then create new corridors for these to flow freely, once those are being done, and then get our scientists to also come out with innovations and products, not only for their individual countries, but for the continent as a whole. If Senegal has developed a test kit and they can produce enough, we should find a way of using the AFCFTA for these products to move around the continent easily. If Ghana comes out with a solution, we make sure we produce it enough. If some of the raw materials cannot be sourced in Ghana and can be gotten from Niger or Mali, we work together to make sure we get the raw materials and then produce them in large quantities for the entire.
So you don't think we could have pursued with a virtual platform systems so that we await either a cure or a vaccine, then we can proceed also with the physical movement and transactions?
Yes, exactly. So the focus now is to look at finding solutions to the pandemic, as I mentioned, and also getting entrepreneurs to come up with solutions as far as the digital aspect of things are concerned. We've been pushing, we need to go paperless, we need to go cashless. These are times, once people are isolated and from home, it gives you more time to think through the box. Through the box and come out with some solutions. We've been seeing a lot on social media, young men solutions on how to wash our hands. People are developing all kinds of sanitizers. Previously we all be rushing to China to just import, but exports and imports have slowed down. International trade is actually slowed down drastically. So most
Kwame is the Secretary General of the International Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Now, Ghana would not be part of the initial set of countries that will issue the single currency, the ECO. That's a prediction coming from London-based Economist Intelligence Unit, EIU. There's more in this Business Desk report.
Economist Intelligence Unit, EIU, they do not see Ghana joining the initial set of countries that want to issue the common currency, the ECO. Analysts are attributing it to some concerns that government might have expressed about the way the region plans going about the introduction of the ECO. The single currency should have been introduced in 2000, but was postponed about 5 times due to differences between the English-speaking countries of the economic grouping, the ECOWAS. The heads of state in the region have now set 2020, that is this year, as a new date for introducing the currency. At the recent meeting between the central bank governors and finance ministers in the region, they failed to agree on a clear roadmap that should be respected by all. Persons close to that meeting had told Joy Business that there are still challenges on a clear-cut convergence criteria that should be adopted by all member countries. There are also issues about whether every member country should be allowed to jointly issue the currency or allow those just with strong economies. There are also concerns about which country should be settled on to use its reserves to support the ECO. The decision by the French-speaking countries to join the ECO without agreeing to those laid-down procedures for its introduction is another concern that has come up. Based on information available to Joy Business, it is clear that the introduction of the ECO may elude us again.
And that wraps up the marketplace for today. Many thanks for your attention. My name is Aboagye-Wiafe. For more business news, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Have a good afternoon.